Well, 162 down and 13 more wins to go. What's up, everybody, and welcome to the postseason here on Dodgers Latest. I'm Jim Rodriguez. Loved all your support throughout the year. Subscriber count going through the roof. Keep subscribing, share, like, hit that thumbs up button. And of course, lots of comments. We've gotten tons of them throughout the season. We read them all, we respond, and of course, sometimes we'll even read them here on the air. And that's right, J-Rod Show on Instagram and X that's where you can reach us. Dodgers crowned themselves NL West champs, a 93-win season. Their 12th NL West title in the last 13 years, and of course, 13 straight trips to the postseason. And for the Dodgers, you know, we talk about you want to be playing good baseball toward the end, and maybe when they were winning, you know, those over 100 games every year, winning the division by 15 double digits, they seemed maybe they were a little bit maybe out of sorts, clinched too early. Well, the Dodgers have come into this postseason absolutely on fire. They're streaking, if you will, and they've gotten back to sort of the Dodgers we were accustomed to. Look at that. They've won 5 in a row, including a sweep of the Mariners to end the regular season, and they've won 15 of their last 20 games to get them over the hump, to finally put away the Padres, put away the Diamondbacks, put away the Giants, and clinch the NL West, and come in with a starting pitching that has been absolutely lights out. I mean, historic stuff, and they finally know they have an opponent. It will be the Cincinnati Reds, who they've faced once before in the postseason. We'll get into all that, full preview of Game 1 tomorrow. But let's wrap up the regular season and talk about Sunday's best, which had to be Clayton Kershaw and Shohei Ohtani. Let's break into Kershaw, of course. Put a bow on a Hall of Fame career. 5 1/3 shutout innings, 7 strikeouts, including the last batter that he faced, Eugenio Suarez, struck him out. Loved if Dave Roberts sent Freddie Freeman out to take him out of the game. Kershaw and Freddie Freeman, very close friends. And for Kershaw, 223 wins, over 3,000 strikeouts, 3,052 to be exact, and an ERA, a confounding 2.53 ERA. That is the lowest ERA in the modern era. So when he gets into the Hall of Fame, he will have the lowest ERA of any Hall of Famer. And the part that always gets me about Clayton Kershaw, he pitched more games like he did yesterday. Scoreless game, right? He went 5 1/3 scoreless innings. He pitched more games where he didn't allow a run in a start than he had losses. Over 100 games that he pitched where he didn't allow a run, and he lost 96 games in his career. 223 and 96, over 3,000 strikeouts, 3-time Cy Young, MVP. We'll see you in Cooperstown, kid. And of course, 22 will be retired at Dodger Stadium not shortly thereafter. Tremendous career. And for Kershaw, to me, it's always the unselfishness, right? Pitched out of the bullpen in the Arizona series, has volunteered for that, will not be on the wild card roster. Dodgers let him go as far as he could on Sunday. Maybe the division series. I think we'll definitely see him in a league championship series, World Series format. But these short series, I don't think we're going to see Kershaw. And we know we won't see him in the best of 3 wild card series. It starts Tuesday against the Reds. Other part of Sunday's best, Shohei Ohtani hit his career high 55th home run of 2025. Most home runs he's ever hit in one season for the soon-to-be Hall of Famer Shohei Ohtani. 55 for him. He breaks his own record of last year, which was 54, and that, of course, sets the all-time Dodger record for most home runs in a season. So Shohei at 55 breaks last year's record of 54. And what to me seemed more impressive was 146 runs scored. That was 2 away from the all-time record, which was 148, set in 1890. So, and to me, Shohei set another 50-50 milestone this year. Last year, it was 50 homers and 50 stolen bases. This year, the 50-50 is 50 home runs and 50 strikeouts as a pitcher. And we've said it before, for all due respect to Kyle Schwarber, and hopefully the Dodgers will see them in the postseason this year, Ohtani's the MVP. The numbers, the slugging, the on-base percentage, everything about that, plus the fact that he has been an absolute ace on the mound, I think wrap it all together, and I think Shohei is your MVP of the National League. It'll be his third straight MVP, his fourth overall, and he will tie Barry Bonds as the only man in the history of the game to have 4 or more most valuable players in a career. So the regular season has been put to bed. Dodgers with 93 wins, NL champs, the third seed, so they will play in the wild card round. And yeah, their opponent will be the Cincinnati Reds, who played great. The Mets collapsed, and Cincinnati took full advantage of it, and they will be at Dodger Stadium starting Tuesday. Games 1 and Game 2 are at 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock West Coast. And if there is a Game 3, they'll figure out what the time is, depending if any of the other series are going on. But it's Dodgers and Reds for the second time in the history of the postseason between these two franchises. In fact, when the Dodgers faced the Reds in 1995, and the Reds swept the division series from the Dodgers, that is the last series that the Reds have won in a postseason. They have not won a postseason series in 30 years. So they will come to Dodger Stadium with a Hall of Fame manager in Tito Francona, who, by the way, to me, that's what scares me the most about the Reds. They have such a crafty genius in that dugout in Francona, and he will bring his Reds, and we'll get into predictions and position by position and everything that into tomorrow. But it's the Reds. The Dodgers beat the Reds 5 out of 6 during the regular season. Beat them all 3 times at Dodger Stadium. It looks like it'll be the LA native Hunter Green on the mound for Cincinnati. And for the Dodgers, well, it looks like it's going to be, they haven't announced it officially, probably come later today. It'll be Blake Snell is likely to be the Game 1 starter. Bob Nightingale is reporting that it will be him. It looks like it will be either Snell or Yamamoto. I think it'll be Snell pitching in Game 1, and you can't go wrong with either guy, right? For Snell, he's given up 1 earned run in his last 19 innings, and I think the reason why you give Snell the ball in Game 1 over Yamamoto, nothing to do with ability or anything like that. The Reds are terrible against left-handed pitchers. 26th in the big leagues in runs created. They don't score a lot of runs. Their pitching is very good, but I think they struggle so much against left-handers that I think you want to give a lefty the ball right out of the gate, put him in the hole, down 0-1, and then you bring in Yamamoto to finish it off in Game 2. So I think that's the strategy behind that, but looks like it'll be Blake Snell pitching in Game 1 for the Dodgers. And, of course, for Blake Snell, it's been an interesting year for him. He's got postseason experience, of course. He had the Dodgers on the ropes in Game 6 of the 2020 World Series before the Rays and Kevin Cash inexplicably took him out. Dodgers rallied and ended up winning the game and the World Series. But Snell has postseason experience, 2-time Cy Young Award winner. And for Hunter Green, the LA native, he has been great. In fact, the Dodgers beat him August 25th. And that's the last time he has lost a game. He was one of the mainstays in getting the Reds across the finish line and into the postseason, trying to win their first postseason since 1995. It's the Reds' first trip to the postseason since the COVID series in 2020 when they lost to the Atlanta Braves. They were swept in the best of 3, 2 games there. Dodgers ended up playing the Brewers, if you remember, in that 2020 World Championship season. Dodgers played the Brewers in the first round, the wild card series, and beat them. So Dodgers and Reds, not since the days of Barry Larkin have Cincinnati had much success in the postseason. So it'll be great to see these one-time, the old-timers, the old-school guys, the big red machine of the 70s and Dodgers. They were the premier teams in the National League West. Reds moved away to the Central when they expanded. And so it's good to see this rivalry between the Dodgers and the Reds kind of kick off again, as Game 1 will be on Tuesday at Dodger Stadium. It'll be the 4th game of a quadruple header. Game 1 on Tuesday will be the Tigers and the Guardians. Then it'll be the Padres and the Cubs. Then the Red Sox and the Yankees. How about that for a postseason series. And then the Dodgers and Reds at 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock first pitch on the West Coast. It looks like, again, it'll be Hunter Green against Blake Snell in that series. We'll break it down even more all for you tomorrow and, of course, all throughout the postseason. And remember, the winner of this series ends up playing the Phillies. And the Dodgers would be playing the Phillies if they can beat the Reds. It'll be Saturday night in Philadelphia would be game one. And, of course, the bank, Citizens Bank Park, has been a house of horrors for the Dodgers in the postseason. So game one and a potential game 5 will be in Philadelphia. So the Dodgers, if they win this, they will graduate to the Phillies. And then, obviously League Championship Series, World Series yet to come. So good times. And again, thank you for hanging out with us. Hang out with us every day during the postseason here. Like, subscribe, tell a friend. Let us know what's going on. And remember, you can always hit me up on Instagram and on X at JRodShow. I'm Jim Rodriguez. Postseason baseball is here, and it's always time for Dodger baseball.